So, this video has been a long time coming. I know I haven't really done any politically minded or religious videos recently. I mean, I've had the reptiles, and I've done a couple of other just goofy, silly videos of me having a good time here in Chicago. But, you know, things have come up. A lot of things have changed recently. I gotta say, I'm really disappointed that in this day and age there are still people who believe in fairy tales, who believe that there's some magical, invisible guy that talks to them. They believe that just 6,000 years ago the world was formed. They believe that magical winged creatures come down and interlude and you know, dance with humans, and they believe that a pillar of fire and smoke led people, and that somebody parted an ocean with a wave of his hand, and that the world was covered in water, and everything was created in 6 days, you know? And really, you have to deny a lot of reality to believe that stuff. And there are some people that compartmentalize. There are some people where they believe that on Sundays, and then when they go to work and when they live their life, they live in reality, you know, the place where the rest of us are. But still, it's amazing to me that people hold on to that. I mean, there must be some kind of deep-rooted thing that, you know, we need hope. We need to feel warm and fuzzy. And that is one thing, actually, about religion, is that it does give people feelings of comfort and assuredness and warm, fuzzy feelings that somebody's looking out for them when the world can be a cold, horrible place. Unfortunately, it is a cold, horrible place, and there isn't always somebody looking out for us. But it sure feels good to feel that way, to believe something like that. So I can understand why people believe that. I mean, even I, for the longest time, believed that God existed, or you know, and really, for you guys that do believe it, I'm not going to tell you that you can't believe it. I'm just going to tell you that you can't deny reality. So if you want to compartmentalize it, if you want to say, you know, yes, God exists, but then also science and physics and mathematics and probability and, you know, the laws of nature also exist. The laws that obviously must be broken for God to do the supernatural shit, the beyond natural, because natural laws and then supernatural. To do supernatural shit, you must go beyond nature. Sorry, it's just fact of life. So I want to assure you that it's okay to believe in your imaginary friend, you know, your adult imaginary friend, because I know a lot of us had imaginary friends when we were kids. You know, we imagined that they were playing with us in the backyard, you know, or like you know, sitting with us at the dinner table. I'm sure I had an imaginary friend too. It's comforting to have an imaginary friend. Really, I'm having this discussion, I'm making this video because I've been running into a lot of religious people. Like, I had one guy, some of you may know that I play Guild Wars. It's an online video game where you interact with other people around the world. And one of the guys in my guild was saying that evolution is a hoax perpetrated by the liberal media. And I was like, look, I can explain to you everything you need to know, from genetics to speciation to natural selection, random mutation combined with natural selection, which is very, very organized. So it's not like it's just willy-nilly things just happen, like dogs just don't grow wings and fly away. I mean, there's obvious physical laws that guide it. So I was like, go ahead, ask me anything. And you know what he asks? He says, if evolution is real, then monkeys can't exist. Why do monkeys exist? He asked this of me. And you know what? I was so stunned. I had to, like, facepalm. I was like, really? Really? Do I have to explain ecological niches and, you know, how in one area certain traits might be favored and in another area? You know, that's like saying, if evolution is real, then how can you have a cousin? You know, because somewhere back in the line somebody had more than one offspring, and one offspring went one way and the other offspring went another way. So yeah, there are two offspring going in two different directions, just like there are two species that were originally at some point merged. And they found, you know, on one of the human chromosomes, they found chimpanzee telomeres in the middle of our chromosome. Telomeres only end up on the ends. They're the caps to our chromosomes. See, they serve no function except to protect the DNA while the cell is reproducing, and it keeps them tightly wound so the ends don't get frayed, just like the little nub at the end of your shoelace. That's what a telomere is. Why is there a telomere in the middle of a human chromosome, and why, if you were to split that human chromosome, would it look almost exactly like chimpanzee DNA? Why would it be a certain number that equals how many they have if we split it and allowed those telomeres to naturally be as they are, how they're supposed to be? So anyway, I was just stunned. And then there was this other guy that was egging him on. I actually had to kick the other guy out of the guild because the other guy was a Ray Comfort fan, and also Kent Hovind. He was like, oh, you must listen to Kent Hovind. He tells the truth about everything. You must, you know, look him up. And I was like, oh God, he's in jail for tax evasion. And he was like, no, you're not supposed to pay taxes. That's a big government conspiracy. And you know, I've heard that before, and I'm familiar with the whole thing. Originally, this was not supposed to be taxed and blah, 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 this. I understand that they started adding taxes after one of the wars, and it was supposed to be a temporary thing, and then, you know, ended up, okay, but everyone pays taxes, and the taxes go to the good of the people, for the most part. Some taxes, I'm sure, go to line politicians' pockets, but for the most part, the taxes go to the good of the people. So I'm going to pay my taxes, because I like my roads being paved, and I like, you know, being able to, I don't know, go to a free health clinic if I need to. You know, I like being able to get food stamps if that's needed to. But then, just last night, I stepped on some toes. I'm living in a new place right now. I thought that this was going to work out pretty well, too. It's two female roommates. One of them, Melissa, she's pretty cool. She's going to be moving out. She's a Catholic. The other one, I think, is like a Methodist or a Baptist. I'm not too sure. Her name is Gina. And Gina's been really on edge, like just doesn't like me for some reason, and it's fine. Some people don't like me, so I'm staying out of her way. I tried being friendly. I tried saying hi and trying to make small talk, and just keep getting this cold shoulder thing. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just leave her alone. But I came home from work last night, and they were having an argument in the living room about which one of their religions is right. And one of them was like, oh, well, your religion is responsible for, you know, the Spanish Inquisition, and the other one's like, oh, well, your religion's bigotry and, you know, hates women. They were going back and forth about it. So I was like, look, both of you guys believe something that was made up by people who didn't know their ass from a hole in the ground and wanted to explain things like earthquakes and lightning. So, you know, it's nice that you guys want to argue over this stuff, but really, religion is just a bunch of fun stories that people wrote down a long time ago. So, go ahead, keep arguing, but, you know. And then Gina was like, she said, well, that's quite a blanket statement. I wouldn't make a statement like that. I was like, okay. So she kind of stormed off. Now today, the landlord, though, he called me, and he's wanting me to move out. He says because somebody else is offering more money for the room than I'm offering, I'm going to counter by calling a lawyer possibly. And you know, we did make a verbal agreement that I would stay till the end of August, and, you know, it's like I prorated August's rent and then paid part of July. So, I should be here at least, you know, but he wants me out by the middle of August. And I think the reason is because Gina got all, you know, hurt in the butt and decided to call him, but I'm not sure. I'm not going to make any definite accusations about that yet.